there's two entities that can actually foreclose on you. That's the lender and Uncle Sam. So because you're putting less skin in the game, when you're putting less down payment, the lender has a requirement typically that you have to have an escrow or an impound account, because they don't want Uncle Sam to foreclose, because they're going to be SOL if Uncle Sam gets to foreclose your house before they get to foreclose your house.
Okay, Charles, Lisa, we are live. Hopefully everybody is having a good day so far. There's a lot on today's agenda, but mostly we're just gonna chill. I wanted you to share more about escrows and impound. Because we have a client, right, that reached out to us recently, and she was kind of confused or lost, or she forgot if we talked about this when she was buying a home, and it was about escrows and impound. And I know we talked about it, but same thing I told her, when this is not area or industry where you're practicing and it's your livelihood, you're going to forget these things because it's so much. Kind of like supplemental taxes, right? We tell our clients all the time at the signing table, hey, look, you're going to get a lot of solicitation mails saying, if you want your deed, pay us $90, we'll send it to you. Those are crap because your deed's already on the way and they know that, right? So they forget about that. So like, this is just another thing. We want to bring it back up again and talk more about it because we don't talk about it enough, and it is important, you know, because especially if you pay your mortgage with the insurance and your escrow and all that, it all gets collected every month. Then every 6 months or so, it gets automatically distributed to pay your taxes, your home insurance, etc. So I think a lot of first-time home buyers are not familiar with that. So can you talk more about that?
Absolutely, Chia. And while you're talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and pull out a chart. I think it's a little bit easier for people to see why that takes place. Give me just a moment. Let me pull it up, guys. Let me go ahead and share you guys my screen. So I'm just going to use this one example, okay? Somebody's buying a $500,000 house, 5% down. This was the rate, okay? So what it means when you're talking about an impound or an escrow account, not to be confused with the escrow period, because we throw in these words escrow, but it means different things.
I heard that.
Right?
It's ending in 21 days. Yes.
When you're in escrow, which means the seller has accepted the offer that you made, that's called the in escrow period. Again, not to be confused with an escrow account. What an escrow or an impound, it's the same, okay, guys? Escrow or impound is the same. It means your property tax, instead of you paying twice a year, because this is how typically your property taxes are done. They're due twice a year. Okay, you get this one big bill. You can either wait for the one big bill and pay it, or you can add it into your mortgage. Now, most lenders, if not all lenders, if you're putting less than 10% down, because there's two entities that can actually foreclose on you. That's the lender and Uncle Sam. So because you're putting less skin in the game, when you're putting less down payment, the lender has a requirement typically that you have to have an escrow or an impound account, because they don't want Uncle Sam to foreclose, because they're going to be SOL if Uncle Sam gets to foreclose your house before they get to foreclose your house. Okay, so what that means is, even though it is broken down on a monthly basis, an escrow account is basically a forced savings account. So when the time comes that your home insurance and your property taxes due, they will pay that on your behalf. Do they always do it? I had it 2 times where the lender, for some reason, just overlooked that. And then this person accrued fees and so on and so forth. The lender is required to pay for those fees if it's on their mistake. So it's kind of nice that if they make a mistake, they're gonna most likely pay for that for you guys, okay? So in the event that you don't have an escrow account, this is what your monthly principal and interest amount is. This is what your property tax is to save up and everything, okay? When you first purchase your house, there's a lot of times where the county hasn't caught up with what your actual property tax is, and you're gonna be billed on what the seller, the last person that owned the home, what their property tax is. So you're gonna get a supplemental tax bill. Watch out for that. It will say, it looks exactly the same as your regular property tax, but it will say supplemental tax. If you're buying a brand new build, the variance is gonna be much, much greater, because the builder's property tax is taxed only on the land they bought it on. So there's gonna be a much greater, most of the time you're buying a brand new build, that supplemental tax bills is gonna be in the thousands. thousands, not the hundreds. If you're buying an existing home, it's usually just in the hundreds. That's a difference. When you have a supplemental tax bill, the lender, if you have an impound or escrow account, will not know that because the county does not mail that bill to them. So it is up to you to be very, very cognizant of that. Once you get that and everything, you can contact your lender and say, hey, do I have enough in my escrow account, my forced savings account, to pay for this? If not, then you do have to pay for it on your own. I hope that makes sense.
Well, Lisa, I actually learned about that from a real estate friend of mine. So basically, if you're buying a new build, the taxes is on the land. And so if you're buying a $800,000 new build, you're going to get a huge supplemental tax bill. And buyers need to know about that. Like that, there's something that happens when you buy those new builds. You have to know that, right? And not everybody is told that. And then all of a sudden they get this bill in the mail and they're just like, oh my goodness, what is this, right? And
yeah, they call you, they call me, and they call Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea that was the case. And like I said, it's great to have all of that information. And again, without the proper representation, you're going to be in for a wallop on that.
Just to add to that, right? I think for the past couple of years, everybody's home's been getting reassessed.
Even if it's existing. Uncle Sam wants a piece of that, okay?
So supplemental tax is almost supposed to be a one-time thing, right? When you take ownership, and now it's happening every year.
Correct. And remember how I said sometimes the lender hasn't caught up on that, and they'll send you a letter saying, hey, we just reevaluated the property tax, we just reevaluated your home insurance. Now that it has increased, okay, it increased 4 months ago, but we didn't collect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide those monthly payments in X amount of months for you to make it a little bit easier. We're gonna add another $50 into your monthly payment. So be very, very careful of that, guys, okay? Know that when you're qualified and you take out the maximum that you could qualify for, and truly, if you're paycheck to paycheck during that time already, it is gonna be a little bit tougher. If you know that you have a type of job that usually doesn't give high enough bonuses to cushion for life circumstances. And right now, even not just with property tax, home insurance are increasing higher than property tax.
Lord.
Make sure you have that readily available. Don't max out what you qualify for. Always have a little bit of a cushion for these changes. This is really, really important. I'm really glad that we're talking about this today so that you guys as a consumer know ahead of time.
It's funny. Henry is saying it's all about servicing fees. That's all. Everybody wants a piece of your dollar. Of course, everybody wants a piece of our dollar. It's how the world goes around, and unfortunately, not many people think about things like this until it's already too late. Like what Lisa was saying, if you know you're saving money because of that 3-to-1 buy down rate option that you're going for, maybe instead of spending that money, put that money that you're saving those first few years on the side, and then when the time comes, if the rate still is not in your best interest to refinance out, then you could use that portion to possibly do something with the mortgage at that time, and buy down again or do something with it. But don't handicap yourself by not preparing. We're telling you guys all this right now so that you can be prepared, and it's not going to be a shocker. Kind of like this impound account, these taxes, when it goes up, it's gonna go up. And property prices has been going up year by year, so that's why they are purposely reassessing it every year. So even as a homeowner, your taxes are going up every year. Like me and Lisa get client calling us during tax time, and they're like, my bill went up. I thought you said it's fixed. Like, what's going on? It's your property tax or your home insurance. Home insurance is crazy. We have a insurance rep that's coming on the show, talk about why it's been going so cuckoo right now for a lot of people. So yeah, we're not gonna steal the thunder from that person. All right, but okay, that is that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna close it out. We're a little bit over. Have a good night. Thank you again. It was fun. We'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Share this video, like this video if you guys haven't done that yet. We love you guys. Good night. Peace.